East Liverpool was the heart of manufacturing artisan ceramics for the entire country. America's table was set with all of these beautiful plates, mugs, dishes. A town which once functioned solely on the back of one industry had been wiped out and completely obliterated.
With the introduction of the Chinese manufactured mug, the town basically went into a spiral. Those jobs have diminished by the thousands.
It's actually not a bad little town. I wish it would prosper. It's like forgotten about. Our parents always told us if we didn't go to school, we had the potteries. It's not that way anymore. My husband had been working at a company for 10 years and was laid off. I was laid off at the same time. We weren't able to pay all of our bills. My kids were going without. Homework time is the only time I get to spend with the boys. It makes me feel like I'm still part of their life.
I did.
Okay. Which organism is a carnivore? Human, rabbit, lion, opossum.
Lion.
Biotic factors and wetlands. Will you sit down so you can stop looking at the answers?
I'm not looking at the answers.
There was several times that Danny needed money to go on a trip with his school, and he was unable to go because we couldn't afford it. That broke my heart to tell him no, because I knew it was once in a lifetime that he could go. It became very difficult. I mean, almost to the point where you just want to say, I've had enough, I give up, because you don't know what else to do.
We're one of just 2 potteries that are left in this town. Been in a survival mode for about 5 years, just trying to hang on through very tough economic times. One thing that's affected us directly is the inability to go to local banks to get financing. It was pretty depressing to be in your early 60s, realize that many of the dreams that you had, you're never going to realize. Wasn't sure I even wanted to continue with the business.
When you lose your job and you have no hope, it's the fracturing of people's self-esteem, the fracturing of their soul. Is this America? What is happening?
America has lost making the product. It takes a lot of talent and craft and skill. It takes capital. Running a factory is not easy. Manufacturing is an important part of this country. It's an important part of our economy.
East Liverpool, for me, is emblematic of the significant problem that exists in this country. Despite the fact that there are almost 14 million people unemployed in this country, there seems to be a willingness to ignore how big the problem is or believe that someone else is going to solve it. Given the national and global footprint that Starbucks has, how can we use our scale for good? What can we do to try and help?
I've been designing and sourcing ceramics and glass for 25 years. When I first heard of the Create Jobs for America campaign, I immediately said, this is what I've been waiting for. When you look at energy, when you look at real estate, East Liverpool, Ohio is very competitive right now. Well, I knew there was an incredibly rich history here. Was it possible to tap into it? Were there still fragments left to try to rebuild, revitalize, regenerate what was an incredible industry? That led me to Clyde McCallan at American Mug & Stein.
I got the phone call from Ulrich, and he felt that there was a possibility that Starbucks might be interested in helping this company to expand the business and to hire more people.
Knowing from Clyde that there was a skilled labor force sitting at home, out of work, some chronically unemployed, I just felt that we got to make this work. There's an opportunity here. When the Starbucks order came in and they started working on it, this place was completely transformed.
I work at the American Mug & Stein as a finisher. Every cup has a flaw, but I think that's what gives our wear character. I'm proud that I was able to finish that piece of ware and that it's going out the doors and someone will use it.
When I was there talking to the people who were now getting jobs back, you would have thought that I gave them $1 million. You can't put a price on someone's self-respect. Approximately 65% of all new jobs in America is linked to small businesses. That's the lifeblood of employment in this country.
When a company like Starbucks comes to a small business, they can have immediate impact. At one time, I had 42 employees. I went down to 4, and now we're back up to 18. The Starbucks experience has put the fire back in my belly. I'm positive about my own business for the first time in many years. We are not a typical Starbucks supplier. What we provide for them is minuscule in the scope of their distribution. But for us, it's huge. It's life-changing.
If it wasn't for the Starbucks order, yeah, I wouldn't be working here. I'd still be looking. This job matters because I'm able to provide for myself and my family. I want them to have what I didn't have. I want them to see what you can gain from hard work. I want them to stay here and find better than what's expected.
Everybody likes the lower prices, and I think only now are they realizing that that comes at a cost. And that cost is that your neighbors don't work, that maybe you don't get paid what you should be being paid. Buying an American-made product has a positive and direct impact on those that are manufacturing it. If this one company can make this gesture, maybe there's other companies out there that have pushed jobs overseas that maybe should consider. There's a long-term negative impact to that type of thinking.
This is not a gift. This is not charity. This is hard work. And it's our job to prove to Starbucks that we're going to make this happen in America.
There are thousands of facilities like the one we found in East Liverpool. And unfortunately, there are hundreds of small towns in America who have been left for dead. I think we're better than this. We deserve better than this. And I think it's going to take people in all walks of life to stand up and recognize that we can make a difference. We can't be a bystander.